الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه وموالاه. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. Again and again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is blessing us with time, with health, to be here. Today's talk will be about a woman among the companions, female companions of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She has been very well known for her sacrifices for the sake of Allah, for her commitment to this deen, for her choice to be the woman with the greatest dowry. This woman lost her husband, and she was left with two children, two boys, a widow with two orphans, and a man proposed to marry her, a man of dignity, a man of caliber, a distinguished man among his own people. But that man was not a Muslim. By that time, she just accepted Islam. She is from among the Khazraj, as a matter of fact, from Bani Najjar. Okay? Do you know this woman? Have you heard of a woman of these qualities?
If I should ask something before I can answer your listening.
Go ahead.
Now, do you exactly was the woman among the household of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam?
No. She is from Bani Najjar, from Al-Khazraj. She was a widow with two children, very famous boys in the life of the Prophet and the life of the Muslims and in the history of Islam, even in our lives. Okay? She was in need. She was poor. A man of dignity proposed to marry her. He was not a Muslim. She was a Muslim. And she said to him, men of your caliber cannot be rejected, but Islam has come between me and you. And I said, I'll pay you whatever you want as a dowry, because she was a distinguished woman as well. Okay? She said, no matter what you pay, I will not accept. My dowry is La ilaha illallah Muhammadun Rasulullah sallam. Slim radiallahu anha. But there is no reward to it. Allah will give you more. Allah will give you more. So it was Slim, and her name was Ar-Rumaysa bint Malhan radiallahu anha. May Allah be pleased with her. The mother of Anas ibn Malik radiallahu anhu. The mother of البراء ibn Malik radiallahu anhu. And the man who proposed to marry her was Abu Talha radiallahu anhu, because she insisted that there is no way for accepting to marry him but if he would accept Islam. The man went away for some time, and he started thinking about what this woman proposed for him. He started weighing things, learning about Islam, until he became convinced that she was guiding him to the happiness of this life and the hereafter. And therefore, he became a Muslim as he said, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. she said to Anas, take your uncle to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so the marriage contract will be signed there immediately. And that was her dowry, and she is the woman with the greatest dowry in Islam. The woman with the greatest dowry in Islam. It's not only in Islam, but in history. Because there is nothing greater than La ilaha illallah Muhammadun Rasulullah. When the Prophet ﷺ came to Medina, most of the companions, if not all of them, I mean the people of Medina, Al-Ansar, tried their best to serve the Prophet ﷺ, to offer something for him and his companions. And you know, we reported something of these stories that the Ansar came to Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, and they said to him, let's divide our properties between the Muhajirin and us. You see, to the extent that they were ready to give half of their wealth, their properties, for the sake of Allah and His Prophet. This woman came to the Prophet ﷺ, as you know, before she got married. She was a widow with orphans. Anas at that time was the oldest. He was 10 years old. And she took him to Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, and she said, every one of your companions among the Ansar gave something for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But I'm a poor woman. I don't have anything to give. But I'll be giving the most precious thing I have in life, which is Anas. He will be your servant. He will be your... You see how this woman helped Anas for his name to be eternal. So we mention his name every time. His name will be written in history and will never be forgotten until the day of judgment. She brought up Anas in the best way, not only that way, but she was able to give him honor that everybody will aspire for until the day of judgment. She was able to put him in a place that he will be remembered, as Islam is remembered, as Quran is remembered, as Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is remembered. And this is why whenever the name of Khadim Rasulullah, the servant of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is mentioned, we remember Anas. Was the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam of anybody to serve him? The greatest of the companions of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam would really give their lives for the sake of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We're happy to serve him, but it's a choice. Allah chose this child to be very close to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And look at what this woman did to her son. She said, "O Prophet of Allah, this is Anas to serve you. Please make dua for him." You see the love she had for Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the love she had for her own child, and the love she had towards Islam, that she was not ready to accept anybody but a Muslim. And maybe at that time it was not required for a woman, Muslim woman, to marry a Muslim only. Because, okay, it was later on, but she was not ready to compromise. Not even that. Islam was so precious to her. Islam was so great to her, greater than everything. She was ready to sacrifice everything for the sake of Allah and His Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam made his famous supplication for Anas ibn Malik. Allahumma barik lahu fi ahlihi wa malih. And I think in a revelation, warzuqhu al-jannah. Oh Allah, bless him in his family and in his wa'atil umrah, and expand his lifespan. This is what happened to Anas. Anas reached an age where he wouldn't recognize his own grandsons. He couldn't recognize them. There were too many to count. and he didn't know them. And he was among the latest of the Sahaba to die. He died long time after the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, more than probably 50 years after the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I think more than that, even during the time of the Hajjaj. I don't remember the exact date, but long time after the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he died. His farm in Medina used to give fruit twice. No farm in this dunya gives fruit twice. But the farm of Anas ibn Malik radiyallahu anhu. This is the blessings of the dua of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because of the blessed mother who brought him up and wanted great future for this child, just like any mother. But this mother knew a different way through which her son will be among the most honored people of history, to be nicknamed the servant of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. غفر الله لي ولكم وللمسلمين أجمعين وجمعنا وإياكم بأولئك الصحب الأطهار في جنات النعيم. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.